All right, Coach.
Well, it's good to be out on the practice field. We've had 5 days now, actually a few more practices than that. We spent 2 days together as a group, the opening practice, and then yesterday. And then the other 3 days we went split practices, had one with the newcomers, one with the vets. It's always fun to be out there with the newcomers and get to spend the time and the individual work and them learning and understanding what's going on. I like what I see. We got a group of guys that are in really good condition. We conditioned different this summer. I feel like we're in the best shape we've been in coming into camp, and I'm excited about that. I think our guys are motivated and are really tuned into practicing and doing things right. It'll get harder. There's no question about that. This is a long period of time, so our ability to stay focused and work hard and worry about today will be challenged at some point, and that's where we need the leadership from the guys on the team. I like what I see defensively. I think we're going to be strong up front, guys that can really rush the passer. On the edge, we've got 4 guys that have been doing a really good job rushing the passer and defending the run. And then inside, it's going to be a matter of keeping fresh and being able to do both. Stop the run and then transition into rushing the passer. We should have some good competition at linebacker. I like what I see again from Dorian Etheridge, the young kid that's big and fast and has good instincts. That's the one thing at linebacker you have to have is good instincts and understand what's going on, and he seems real natural at it. Stacey Thomas is doing a good job of leading and making sure everyone knows what's going on. Secondary should have a lot of competition. A lot of guys competing to get playing time, competing to see who the starters are. So we should continue to improve there. Offensively, I like what I see from our offensive line. We got a mixture of vets coming back that have been in battles and understand what's going on, and some real young guys that are very talented and big, and they just have to learn the speed of the game. They get beat at times. Sometimes it's due to not knowing what they're doing, and sometimes it's due to not knowing how fast the defensive guy is going. So to understand the speed of the game and the assignment, and it's a lot easier to play fast when you know the assignment, so we'll work at that. Tight end group's doing a good job. Charles Stanberry is really coming on and catching the ball and blocking well. Mickey Crumb's competing hard. Kamari Averett's doing a really good job. Jordan Davis is learning and getting better. So that should be a group where we have depth and can play multiple guys in there at a time. In the running back group, Reggie's doing a really nice job. He's settled in. We're trying to work out ways to not only hand him the ball, but throw it to him. Jeremy Smith's back healthy and running with full speed. And Malik Williams is doing a really good job. And then Trey Smith is playing a kind of a combination between running back and fullback. And Trey can really catch the ball out of the backfield and has shown that he's a willing blocker and has some punch. So it'll be fun to see how he progresses. I know he's really eager to play and he's a great competitor, so we'll see how he can get himself in the game. Lamar had a good week, got better each day going as we went along. I thought his accuracy got a lot better, his timing got a lot better. Yesterday he was, I think, 80-some% completion throughout the entire day, which is a nice job. And one thing about Lamar is, he's going to go out there with a great attitude and work hard. He continues to do that. I think that Puma's made great strides and, is ahead of where he was in spring ball. Not only with his knowledge and what's going on, but he's throwing the ball better. He's snapping his wrist and he's getting more velocity on the ball. His timing's better. So I'm really encouraged what I've seen from him too. Special teams wise, Mitch Hall we recruited to come in and be our long snapper. He's very, very talented, and he will be our long snapper. That's a good get to have a true freshman come in and be able to snap the ball for us. And then Mason King and Latin Creek continue to work hard to improve and get consistent. That's the biggest thing for both of them, is to be consistent with their swing and their plant and making sure they, Mason drops the ball right every time. When he drops it right and has the right length on his stride, he can really boom the ball. So we've got to make sure we do a good job of covering and not letting them outkick our coverage a few times. But I'm excited what I see. Like I said, obviously we've got to continue to improve. It's going to get harder. It'll challenge their attitudes, and especially when they're tired and sore. And we're going to go out there and work hard. So we're going to make sure that we have the right leadership, and then we got a chance to be a pretty good football team.
What areas you talked about what you like? What areas do you think you need the most work on?
We need work in everything. So it's not like just one area. But defensively, it's about running full speed to the ball and playing together. Everyone doing their assignment and trusting their teammate to do his assignment. Sometimes you give up big plays on defense when you don't do your job, trying to make up for somebody else. So we just got to play assignment football and with great speed. Offensively, we got a lot of work to do with our timing and running game, passing game. All 11 guys getting on the same page. All 11 guys understanding what the defense is doing. That's how you're good on offense. You really understand what the defense is trying to do. And we got some work to do there, especially when you're talking about some young offensive linemen that are trying to work into the depth.
What makes Mike Summers a good offensive line coach, and what can he bring to the team this year?
Yeah, first and foremost, he's a great teacher. So he really stresses the knowledge of the game and knowledge of technique. Mike always does a great job with the group together and them understanding how much that he cares about them, not only on the field but off the field. He always has them over to his house, and I think we were able to do a good job with that this summer. And then they're playing hard and they're playing fast, and I'm excited about that. Mike's also really good at motivating them and teaching and continuing to improve on a daily basis.
Does Trayvon Young look like he's close to where he was? I mean, it's hard to say without game competition.
He sure looks like it to me. He's really coming off the ball and he's really bending well. He hasn't cut any reps in the first 5 days. I've got a decision to make to see how we progress him in scrimmages and what we let him to do, and he needs that, some of it, but we also got to get him to the game healthy.
Bobby, you were talking about Lamar's accuracy. How does that compare to last season, and how much do you read into it when he's not being hit?
You read into it a little bit when you're not being hit, and the key there is to understand the feeling of the rush and getting the ball out on time. I always tell them that, that's a scout team quarterback there, when you're holding the ball too long and you don't really feel the rush or guys coming around you. So the biggest thing on it is to be on time and be accurate. There's a lot of guys that can hold the ball and then throw it and be accurate, but to be on time, throw the receiver open, throw the ball in the hole versus zone before he gets in the hole. So the anticipation, one of the things we always talk to the quarterbacks about, it's way different than high school and college, is they're not going to be wide open. Sometimes you just got to throw them open. You got to put the ball in their right ear to get open for them to be able to catch the ball. So, challenging himself to make those type of throws in practice so you can get better at it.
Is his accuracy markedly better than it was?
He was pretty accurate last year.
Yeah.
He threw for 3,500 some yards and 30 touchdowns, and I thought he had a great year throwing the ball, and then you add on what he did rushing. So, but yeah, he's getting better at it, and the whole deal with him is getting his feet set properly, and then getting on top of the ball on his release. If he doesn't get his feet set right, he usually drops down a little bit, and then his accuracy is not as good.
What do you think of some lists that have had Lamar not as a top 5 player in the country, not as a top 5 quarterback?
Yeah, I think what you do with that is you just don't pay any attention to it. That's the thing, that the culture that we live in right now is anybody can write anything they want. And as a player and a coach, you just gotta believe in yourself, believe in what you're doing. Lamar's stats and what he did speak for himself. We're 7-1 in the ACC, co-champions with Clemson, and we all watched him play, so we know how good a player he is. And we don't watch those other guys. How would I know how those other guys are? I don't know if they're good, bad, or terrible. I don't have any idea.
How is he different from a year ago? He's obviously physically a little bit bigger. He said he's faster.
Yeah. His hair's shorter. It's the first thought that came to my mind, Fred, is that his hair is shorter, so that's different. And he looks good. And I always have to take a double look when he comes in. Oh, that's Lamar. Hey, how you doing?
He seems like he's really growing.
But he has gotten bigger. You know, his shoulders are wider. He's stronger. You know, he didn't quite get the goal we wanted for him on the bench, but that's a huge stride for him. And actually, I think they didn't do the right thing as far as when he tried that weight. You know, he tried it one lift too late, or he would have got it. But little strategy there. Need to coach up the strength staff a little bit. But you know, he might be faster. I don't know. He's fast. I don't know if he's faster or not faster. But, you know, I kid him all the time about, you know, don't get caught from behind. And you know, say, hey, maybe you need to go back and watch that video of me in high school and learn how not to get caught from behind. We have a good time with that.
How has Alexander looked so far, and what do you expect out of him?
He's looked great. You know, he's a real special player. I think the thing that you see different from him this year is his knowledge and his understanding and knowing splits and routes and what's going on out there, not just natural ability. You know, Jair's always been a very physical and a very tough player, so we don't give up anything as far as tackling. He's a really good tackler. He keeps everybody, you know, loose and just has a great personality to be around.
What does the other side look like on the corners?
The other side.
Jair on one side, and what's the?
Oh, yeah, you know, we're working 5 guys really that are competing for time and starting positions. You know, we've got Drew Washington out there. We've got Cornelius Sturgill. I like what I see from Cornelius. He's just got to get more confident and understand that he is, you know, one of the fastest, if not the fastest guy on the field. So he can challenge things more than he probably thinks he can right now. Ronald Walker's gotten better. Ronald just needs to do what he's coached to do, you know, not freelance, and then he could really help us and contribute. Ronald's very tough, very physical, great tackler. You know, he's going to be a great special teams player for us. He has the ability to line up and play corner if he can discipline himself to do what he's supposed to do. Rashis has looked really good. You know, he's got the special trait of speed and great hands. And he's smart. You know, he knows the game. He's the coach's kid, and he understands what's going on out there. So he just keeps getting better every day. But those are the 5 guys that really are competing for the jobs.
Coach, are there any players specifically that you're maybe challenging to step up a little bit more as leaders on the team, vocal, otherwise?
Yeah, you know, normally we would have voted for captains already, but with the new staff and mainly the defensive staff, they wanted to see if we could get a week or 2 in a practice to see who would separate and be the leaders. You know, they didn't feel like that over spring with everything being new and, you know, new staff and everything, that we weren't able to distinguish exactly who our leadership is. So we just got to keep working at it and see.
Coach, last season when he did get touches, Travion Samuel seemed pretty explosive as a receiver. What have you seen from him this offseason, and what can he do to get more touches this season? Yeah,
first, Travion's in great condition. You know, it's always been a little bit for him to run all day and come back and run again, and so this is the best shape he's ever been in. So then he takes more reps at practice and gets more touches. He's been really precise on his routes, and he's catching the ball as well as he ever has. We got to get him some opportunities to run with it and make plays with it. And, you know, catch the short pass and turn into a long game. So he's had a good camp to this day.
Bobby, as Lamar was getting comfortable a couple years ago, did you kind of envision maybe a role in the backfield for Reggie then, you know, just based on his mobility from?
Yeah, a couple years ago, I didn't really know. You know, I didn't know. You knew that Reggie was doing a great job at quarterback and leading the team, and Lamar had a special talent. And then, you know, when we struggled moving the ball early in that first game, we made a switch. And then it was like, well, Reggie's one of our best players on the team. We need to get him out there on the field. So he played wide receiver most of his life growing up. So that was an easy thing for him to transition to playing in another position. But he's doing, he looks a lot more natural running the ball right now. He's seeing it. He's making the cuts. I'm anxious to see how he does.
Bobby, speed has always been a big thing with you in terms of the assets of this team. How do you feel about the team's speed and playing fast?
Yeah, I think that when we time 40s, we're a faster team, but I don't know if we're playing fast enough right now. I think that we need to understand the game better. We need to understand the other side of the ball better. We got to trust what we see. We've got some guys that are hesitating at times, even though they see it, and that was always a big thing at quarterback, is trusting what you see. Sometimes you second guess yourself, but we have that at other positions too, where they just don't trust it and they hesitate, and then they're a second late. So just the reps, and we're going to practice hard and get a lot of reps, and our guys got to trust what they see, so we do play fast. It's not just your 40 time.
Coach, you have a lot of production from last year that didn't return this year. Do you expect it to be a drop-off at the wide receiver position?
No, I don't expect it to be at all, and we'll certainly miss the guys that were out there last year, but, we got Jalen Smith coming back who, as you go back through it, I'm saying to myself, I should have got him the ball more, should have given him more opportunities. He wasn't in spring ball, so we didn't get to work there, so we're working hard right now with him, but he's big and fast, and when he came back off the injury, he had gained some weight, and he's got his weight where it needs to be. Seth Dawkins has tremendous talent, and that's doing a great job. Already talked about Travion. Des Fitzpatrick, I think you'll see, we got to get him at the right spot and see how we can get him reps and touches, and whether that's at a Z or an X receiver or inside at the slot. We've been working him at different spots and seeing how he's doing there. DeMonte Pete's had a really good first 5 days. When you look at the catch chart, he's leading everybody in catches. He's going up and high pointing the ball and learning how to elevate with that length and size. So that'll help us a lot in matchups. He's a hard matchup because he's so tall and has the speed to get down the field. So I've been really excited about him. It's good to have Amani Spence back. Last year at this time we were really excited about Amani. And then he had the Jones fracture and missed the whole season, so it's good to have him back out there too. Freshman-wise, I think Josh Johnson's ahead of the other guys. Josh is a real natural receiver, and I think he's going to give us something that we really haven't had, the run after the catch. He's a special runner after the catch. And it's been really exciting for me to see how he's done to this point. We just got to get him to understand what we're doing. He's got to learn, he's got to work hard at it so that he can go out there and know what he's doing and play fast. But he can really catch the ball. Maybe he just looks good in that 84. That's a good number out there. Does a good job with it.
How much have you done on Purdue so far? Where did you start?
Yeah, we've worked on him as far as in the off season and some things in spring ball. And, right now what we're doing is just installing and concentrating on ourselves. So, we got a long way to go. We got a lot of practices left, so at some point we'll put our focus on them.
Probably the sacks last year would lead the criticism of the offensive line. And was that justified, just as far as statistically with the sacks? And then what do you think is maybe a reason why that would be?
Yeah, it led to criticism of the offense, and it should have, from me to everybody else. It's all the offense. It's not the offensive line. We all take part of it. We all take ownership in it. We've got to be in the right scheme. We've got to be able to use our technique and block people. Quarterback has to be able to handle pressures and blitzes or throw the ball away when he's outside the pocket. Running backs and tight ends got to protect or get open or get the receivers open, and we have to be on time. So, but that offensive line is the same group that was part of the 9-1 start and the 7-1 co-champions, and one of the top offenses in the country. So, there's that old song that Dirty Laundry. I think everybody likes Dirty Laundry. I want to kick you when you're down.
One of those offensive linemen.
Good song, huh? You remember it. You're old enough to remember it. Your hair was longer then, right?
It was more of it.
Mine was too.
Yeah. One of those linemen is Mekhi Becton, a freshman. Huge. He's gotten praise from Mike Summers, Lamar Jackson. How's he looking thus far?
Yeah, he is huge.
Yeah.
He makes Jaron Christian and Lucaeus look small. I got the pleasure to, coach against Jonathan Ogden, And that's who he looks like when he walks in a room or jogs out on the field. I mean, he's the biggest guy out there. But he can bend, and he can move his feet, and he's a real competitive guy. You know, he's really competitive. The whole challenge to him is going to be consistency, and to do that, go ahead, Rick. To do that, the first thing you have to do is know what you're doing. So they're helping him. You know, guys are helping him and telling him and working on it. But he's a real talent, and you know, I'm looking forward to seeing him keep getting better and better.
You mentioned Mitch Hall early in your opening statement. Can you just talk about that position and how important it is, and to have a new guy? I mean, you've had a really good guy there in the past couple of years.
Yeah, you know, the best thing about your long snapper is when nobody knows who he is, which means he's been really good at it, you know. But yeah, we've had great long snappers here with the Mattingly brothers, and then Holba last year, and they've done a great job for us. So Mitch is really talented. You know, he can really snap the ball, he can be accurate. You know, practice is a little bit different for him, so he needs to learn how to be consistent and do it when he's tired. You know, one of the things that they have to do is run out on the field, get set, and snap the ball. So we got to continue to work on that, is not just sit there and snap and snap and snap. That's really not how you work. You run off the sideline, get set, and snap the ball. So we got to get them used to doing that.
Have you looked at the end of last year and some of the things that may have could have gone better that would be building blocks for you this year, where you can practice in a way where the guys won't get hurt, but that you fix whatever was going on?
Yeah, we've certainly evaluated it and, you know, spent a lot of time at it, and there's things we've identified that we need to work at and get better at. You know, and some of it is being patient and not thinking that the big play is going to be there every time, and you know, sometimes your successes become your enemies in that sense, you know, where it was all happening and it was all so easy and it was all so big, and then, okay, now we just have to be patient and take what they give you and get first downs. So that played into it a little bit. And then you have to be able to run the ball. You have to be able to hand it to your running back and run the football with some power, and they have to break tackles and make plays for you. And you know, when you go back and look at our old time here, you know, our running backs were really, really good. They made great plays for us, and a bad run was a 5-yard gain, you know, and a good run was a 30-yard touchdown. So it's kind of getting better at running the ball, and then other things will open up and work for us. And defensively, it was about not giving up the big play, you know, and being focused and concentrating and understanding what schemes we were seeing and not giving up the big play, because that really hurt us down the stretch.
How have you split up the special teams with not having, I guess, per se, special teams coaches?
Oh,
a little
okay,
bit
yeah,
of everybody?
sure. No, really, it's Coach Klinakis is responsible for the punt team and kickoff return, and Court Dennison has punt return and kickoff cover. And then every coach is helping on that, except for our offensive line and defensive line coach and our quarterback coach. You know, they get to work and do extra things at that time to help us get better. And then the offensive staff coaches the PAT field goal, and defensive staff PAT field goal block. So I like it. It's been good, and those guys have worked really hard at it. You know, we relied a little bit on John L. You know, we travel up the road and meet with John L. a lot, and you know, he's always been one of the greatest special teams coaches in America, and he certainly showed that when he came and worked for me at Arkansas. I mean, we were lighting it up. So he's been very kind to us and been coaching them up, and they're going to take a lot of pride in it. I think it'll work out good.
One more question. How do
Speaking-
you feel about the depth up front on defense after the top 2 or 3 guys?
Yeah, I think we're, you know, inside we're working really 6 guys, and I think they're doing a good job. You know, I think it'd be good competition between Johnny and Gigi on who's going to start at that one defensive tackle spot. Gigi certainly has improved. He looked really quick, stood out in video, not yesterday, but the day before. You know, I had to run it back and see it, make sure that was him. And I was really impressed. I was really impressed how he'd been and how he knew what the blocking scheme was to adjust off of it and make a play, make a couple plays actually. certainly, you know, Bailey is a guy we rely on a lot. He can do both, stop the run and rush the passer, so I feel real good about that. And then not Damian Dorsey, but Derek Dorsey needs to get in there and get better and improve. And we've been giving him a lot of reps, not only against the twos, but the ones, and, you know, really trying to get him to be better. Tillman is also a guy that needs to really help us. And, you know, you got to stay fresh throughout the game. So they're going to be playing, you know, anywhere from 20, 25, 30 plays a game. So they have to be able to contribute and make plays.
Hey, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Our assistants are available in the back here.
Hey, what's going on?
Assistant coaches are at all.
What's going on, man?
So that's